It's over for Western women. Guys, I warned you. I warned you that women in Western society would no longer have access to these men. They would no longer have access to the average man because the average man is now walking away. Women in the Philippines, they have been going at this hard for a long time. Not just the Philippines, evidently Japanese women have been at it as well. But the Filipinas, they picked up the mantle or whatever, the gauntlet, and they have been going hard. But it's not just the Filipinas. Asian women in general are going hard. They are taking the men that American women say that they do not want, that Western women in Western countries, you know, women in predominantly white, English speaking Western countries or westernized countries say they do not want. These women are going hard. It's not just the Asian women, it's women all around the world. But the Asian women are not messing around. And I told you, I said this, that women in Western society will no longer have access to these men. One of the things that we've been seeing happening, even in the YouTube communities, are men going over to other countries and dating Asian women, foreign women, but especially Asian women. And it's growing. And I told you we're going to get to the point where you're going to have women all around the world competing for men from Western society. Consider this, that women in Western society and westernized societies do not like 95% of the men in these societies, in these countries. 95%. They're in the top 10% of the top 1% of men on the planet. Okay? The top 10% of the top 1% of men on the planet are rejected by women in Western society and westernized societies. These men are walking away. So these women will no longer have access to these men. The very moment that a man says something that a woman doesn't like instantly, for example, she'll, give him a look like she wants him to come over and speak to her. And if he says something, there's something that she doesn't like about him, she immediately disqualifies him. There are a bunch of women who literally talk crap about Henry Cavill. They say that as soon as he opens his mouth, they're not attracted to him anymore. And they start making fun of him and saying that he'd probably feel more comfortable discussing Dungeons and Dragons. They basically try to characterize him as a little boy. He's a man who hasn't grown up yet. Henry Cavill. Because as soon as they get to know him, they discover that he's not for the streets. And if you're not for the streets, she will never love you. Because her one and only love will forever be the streets. So if you are not for the streets, she will never love you. Okay? The men that she actually loves are men for the streets. I talk about Chad and Tyrone, and I make it very clear that Chad and Tyrone are just brothers from different mothers. Chad and Tyrone are the same person. Do not confuse it. They are the same person. They are both for the streets. They are both broke boys. Henry Cavill, think about this. He should be a Chad, but guess what? He is a man of value, a man of culture, a man of class. And as a result of that, that immediately causes women to lose attraction to him. The men that they actually love are broke boys, dudes who have no real value, but just live off their looks and behavior. Dudes who are extremely toxic, dudes who are for the streets. Okay? Chad and Tyrone are both for the streets. There's a video right now from iShowSpeed. Many of you guys know iShowSpeed. And, of course, you can't take everything seriously that you see on the internet. But I was shocked what I saw. So he went over to Japan and he got, he did the whole rent-a-girl thing in Japan. But he had a lot of fun with her over there. And now he started dating, went out with another girl named Amy, another Asian girl named Amy. And they spent a lot of time together. Amy basically was really cool with Speed. She immediately brought value. I don't know if it was like an iPhone that she gave to him or like custom iPhone or something. She brought him gifts. Like she was in love with this dude. She treated him so well. I want you guys to see this, okay? Because this is an example of what's happening right now. In the short period of time that he spent with this girl, dude caught real feelings. I thought it was a game. I thought he was kidding around. I thought that this guy was joking. I thought that it was just like another stunt for the internet. Yeah, I'm not so sure anymore. Let's jump into the video. I mean, guys, you know, of course, it's the whole dramatic thing there, dramatic feel there, and everything. However, I warned you. This is a big deal. This is a very, very big deal. All right. IShowSpeed is one of the most popular streamers on the planet right now. Okay. He started taking off during the events of 2020 and he blew up rapidly. And this is where we're at right now. Okay. This is not unique. This is not unique. There are tons of stories from men all around the world talking about their success, and women, in these other countries, women who are from Western society, they're going over to these countries and they're trying to mess things up because they're seeing how successful these men are over there. They're confirming it for themselves, and then they're disrespecting these men, saying that these men are ugly in Western society, but it's okay if the women over there want these men because they're basically picking up the garbage that women in America and westernized countries don't want. They view us as garbage. This is how that's how they view us in Western society. They say that we are ugly, and they say that women in other countries are picking up the ugly men that women in America and women in other westernized countries don't want. We are the ugly men. We are the undesirable men. We are trash. So they are trying to shame they're trying to shame women in other countries, saying that they're going around picking up Western women's garbage. Jesus help us. Okay? And then there are simps that are running around and defending these women and going, not all women. Women are literally saying it. They have videos on the internet where they literally say the more that they demand, the less they like a guy, the more they demand from him. The more money he has to spend on her, the more he has to do to buy her affection. If you have to buy her affection, she does not like you. And you have to understand, a lot of simps will not accept this. And there are these dudes who are furious at me, furious because I talk about MWA, furious because I share the stories of other men. Even if I don't agree with some things, there are stories that I talk about and I share, even if I don't agree with them, because men, you guys can get different perspectives. But there's a lot of men who don't want this. Just like there's a lot of women who don't want this, there's a lot of men who don't want this because they are attracted to this centralized way of thinking, and they cannot. It's like for them to experience men stepping outside and walking away, it results in change. And there's a lot of men who cannot handle change. If you've ever watched The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon cannot handle change. Even good changes are bad changes for Sheldon. When I say when I say changes, if you move something, like if the chair is in a certain place and it's moved just an inch, Sheldon cannot handle that change. It's basically he starts going into like all of these paradoxes using physics, and it's literally crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. He goes ballistic. You know, the changing dynamics in a relationship. Sheldon cannot handle that. And it's very interesting because a lot of these blue pillars, that's how they operate as well. They cannot handle change at all. They cannot handle men walking away. They cannot handle men finding success overseas. They cannot handle a changing dynamic between men and women where men are the ones in control, where men are the ones who have the power in the relationship. They cannot handle that changing dynamic. And it's just the reality of it. They cannot even handle discussions about this because it could lead to change. And even though it may not personally affect them right now, they're afraid how it could eventually affect society. You know, there's it's hard to put it like this, but there's a lot of people who carry around a bag of poop with them in life. And in that bag we have things like trauma, we have misery, we have pain, we have suffering, we have we have all kinds of awful stuff in that bag of poop, you know? But that bag of poop, it smells like roses now. It smells literally like roses. And as a result of that, people continue to carry that bag of poop with them. And a lot of these guys, a lot of these blue pillars, they're still men. They do have traumas, but they are carrying around their bag of poop with them. But to them, that bag of poop smells like roses. And they look at a lot of other men who are done with this bag of poop. And they're like, I'm done with it. I'm walking away. And a part of letting go of that bag of poop is also letting go of environments that contribute to that bag of poop, to people who contribute to that bag of poop, to ways of life that contribute to that bag of poop. And when they see other men finally putting down their bag of poop and walking away from that bag of poop, which also often requires them to walk away from the things that are contributing to that bag of poop, they get furious because they love their bag of poop. And if too many guys start putting down their bag of poop, then it changes the dynamics, and it means that eventually they may have to also part with their bag of poop. Guys, don't forget I have another channel called Angry where I discuss gaming, anime, geek stuff, nerd stuff, real world stuff, and whatever else interests me. There's a link to it in the description of the video. Go check it out. Subscribe to my channel. Support my work. And if you're enjoying the content on this channel, you want even more Angry Guy content, head over to the Men Walking Away channel where I post daily videos. There's a link to it in the description of the video. You can go check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the content. Guys, what do you think regarding all of this? It's over for Western women. They will no longer have access to the men that they said they did not want. And that's 95% of all men in Western society. I'm not saying that they don't date these men. I'm not saying they won't marry these men, but that's after they've had their adventure in the streets. That's after they're on their decline. That's after they've become single mothers a lot of the time. She didn't want you in her prime, but now she wants you in her decline. And it's not happening anymore. All right. The plan B guys are walking away. The plan C guys are walking away. The plan D guys are walking away. And women will no longer have access to these men anymore. Let me know your thoughts on this, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, Men Walking Away, and cheers.